All right, guys, I want to talk to you today about RPE versus using percentages. So RPE stands for rate of perceived exertion. That's basically how you're going to feel performing that exercise in that moment. And we often use a scale between 1 to 10. When we're doing this, we want to gauge the intensity and the difficulty of what we're doing. And this helps get us a better understanding of the effort that we need to put in, or maybe a targeted effort that we're going to give towards you for a working set. If you don't have 1RM numbers, you haven't tracked a 1RM, you've never tested a 1RM, I love RPE for giving that same kind of intensity as equal towards like working off of a percentage. So if I have a 1RM, using percentages is a great way to make sure I'm hitting a certain intensity. If I don't have a percentage, using RPE is basically the equivalent to that. I'm going to go off of how I feel in that moment and how I'm performing that exercise and the intensity that I need to bring towards it. I often find that RPE is a great way for people that have just begun their exercise journey to kind of learn themselves and understand what it feels like at each moment and pay attention to what their body feels like and how hard it is to push to a certain level, and to be able to track that intensity even though I don't necessarily have a set number or set percentages to work from. So often a great way to kind of manage your training intensity is to use RPE, and we can't hit a 9 RPE every single day. So you can't come in and give 9 efforts or 10 efforts every single day. You have to be able to kind of wave through those efforts. Some days you're going to give a 7, some days you're going to give a 10. It just depends on what we're training for and what we're actually looking to get out of the session. So I'm not going to come in on a day where I have a 40-minute AMRAP and I'm going to give a 10 effort, because that is going to destroy me for the rest of the week. I want to look at something where maybe I'm hitting 3 sets of 3 on my back squat and the RPE or the percentage is around 80% or 8 out of 10 hard. That gives me an opportunity to obviously push harder in that workout and still have a little bit of energy and still have room to move in my training sessions later in the week. If I come in and I give 10 on a Monday, try to give 10 again on a Tuesday, try to give 10, you're not actually hitting a true 10. You end up just so fatigued that even though it feels like it's a 10, you're actually probably only giving a 7% effort, because by the time you've attempted 2 really big days of giving 10 efforts, you come in and even if you wanted to, you can't really give a true 10. So you're going to see days where you have to give a higher percentage effort or a higher RPE effort, and then you're going to see days where there are lower RPEs, and that's the reason why, because you need to have days where you go up and down in order for you to recover and actually feel and get more out of your training. Obviously, people that are a little bit more trained, they can hit 80%, 90% efforts, whatever it is, a little bit more accurately, because they have an understanding of what that intensity feels like. RPE is that version for people that are maybe new to training, trying to get them to understand what that intensity feels like and understand what their bodies are feeling like, versus just trying to hit a number and not understanding what they're kind of doing. It gives you that opportunity to be more in like tune with your body and how you're actually feeling in that moment, versus hitting some arbitrary number.